In that part,
You're getting in.
I can like reminded me like, what if Evangelion would have been like that? Like, Shinji, get in the freaking Eva.
Ask me nicely.
You're like, ask me nicely, please. It's like,
Shut
up.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's so many weird details in that show. Oh my. I can't believe it. Welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, episode 90. I'm Brian, of course, and with me today, as always,
Mark of the Beardborn Mexican.
That's right. And we have another great anime to talk about today. It's going to be pretty exciting.
90.
Yeah, episode 90.
Can you believe we've made 90 of these things?
Wow, I can't believe it. Yeah, it's insane. Well, how's your week?
It was a rough week, to be honest. But, I'm hanging in there. I mean,
It's good.
if you ignore all of that,
Yeah.
we were talking about before recording. It's like if you ignore all of that and also some of the stuff that happened with the software that we use for the videos.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you ignore all of that, it was a good week.
That's good, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, tech stuff. Yeah, there's some things that happened. It was crazy stuff. But yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah. How was yours?
I had a pretty good week. I played some games with my sister, so that was really awesome. I also watched a couple of movies. Also celebrated May the 4th. So that was pretty cool with, of course, Star Wars.
Today is Cinco de Mayo.
That's right, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so it was a pretty good week. No complaints. Well, for the most part. As life goes, you know.
It's like if you ignore all of that.
Yeah. It was a good week. That's right. Well, today we have an anime that I was interested in, mostly because it was produced by PA Works. I think I've been a fan of PA Works for quite a while now. They have awesome stuff, good anime, really like heart-wrenching and gripping type stories a lot of the time with how they end their anime shows, especially their originals. Like their originals really stand out. But today we have one. It's called Kuromukuro.
Kuromukuro, yeah.
Yep, which is like Black Relic or Black Artifact, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was produced in 2016. It was PA's 15th anniversary, which was pretty cool. This is an original, and yeah, it's a pretty good one in the sense that, of course, you know, PA Works made it, and it is a mecha one, so it is also kind of like when you think of PA Works, I think of a lot of them are as being like romance and drama, but they also have a ton of like different types of genres mixed in there.
They do, and yeah. I mean, we've covered this. I mean, not to it. It's like, you know, whole spectrum of PA Works,
right?
Because I mean, we've made already a few videos of like, I mean, Body Daddies was the last PA Works podcast that we made, but before that was Akiba Made War.
Yeah.
And
your boy Kongmei.
Yeah, your boy
and
Kongmei.
These are just like some of the most recent ones.
And those have been like dramas or like comedy or like really emotionals and a bit of action and even gory.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the way that I guess I got used to PA Works was mostly through their emotional animes.
Oh yeah.
Like you know, like Sakura Quest, Shirobako. We also talk about that one. It's the anime on how to make an anime.
Yeah.
Or another one, Sayonara no Asani Yokusuko no Hana wa Kosuru.
Oh yes.
That one,
Oh, I didn't know
that was a heart wrenching one.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah.
Hanasoku Hiroha.
Mhm.
We talk about that one as well.
We did.
The Day I Became a God.
Oh, dude, yeah. I watched that like right when it came out. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, I think Fairy Gun.
Oh yeah.
That one is an action one.
It was.
It's a bit emotional at the end of the second season, but you know the theme is not the emotional part. The theme is like the action,
Right.
just like with Kuromukuro.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. So this one, it's very mecha driven. It's also a school / mecha anime, which I feel like for mecha, there have been quite a few ones like that in the past, like Evangelion. This show reminded me of Evangelion like so much. Not necessarily like the psychological damage or like how it hits, but just some of the elements are super similar.
Shinji, get to the Eva, or in this case,
right.
Yuki, get to the Kuromukuro.
yeah. Like there's so many like elements that were so.
I mean, we also had Darling of the Franxx.
Oh yeah,
yes. That's also another mecha one.
And similar setup. How there's two people in the mech.
In the mecha, yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I thought, it was interesting. Kind of like my overall opinion on the anime was that it was good. The only thing that kind of like threw me off a little bit were the filler episodes.
Ooh, like the cultural festival one?
Yeah, like the cultural festival, like the movie recording one.
Oh yes. Yeah, that one like, was really weird.
Like at the end, it somehow blended with the story progression.
It did.
But it kind of felt like, oh, the world is ending. By the way, we're gonna have the beach episode.
Yes. Yeah. You always gotta throw it in.
Yeah, I thought that it was just like coming through like really crude, like like these very dramatic part is like it's very tense, and it's like, anyways, we're making a movie.
Well, they're always under threat of basically invasion by aliens, but yeah, they just suddenly one day like, oh, we're making a movie. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I had to really think like
you can cut the air with a knife, and then it's like, anyways.
Yeah.
Before we go back to our usual program, enjoy some fan service. But that was my overall opinion. I was kind of like threw off every time that they would put
do some other random things.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. For me, it was kind of odd that they were like doing that, because it's one of those ones where it doesn't feel like a school anime, but I was kind of surprised how much school type stuff was shown. Like they're in the classroom almost half the time.
Yeah.
Once they go to like school, because Kenosuke, of course, they find him. Well, yeah, we can start at the beginning, but
let's
it was
start
kind
from
of
the
odd.
beginning, because the beginning is weird, because you start in this like feudal Japan, and it's like
misty, like nighttime.
Yeah, and then somehow it just go back to the present, and they're telling like, oh yeah, this and this and this, and there's apparently in one part of Japan, this really advanced kind of like community that found artifacts. I watch it dubbed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, artifacts, relics. That's right. Yeah, I did watch it sub. So I bet we'll have some pretty good comparisons.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So yeah, they
artifacts.
It's like they found this sort of cube, and also they have been finding some other thing that seems to be ahead of its time.
Yeah, because when they find these things, they were constructing a dam in Kurobe, or the Kurobe Dam, and then when they were digging, they found also the I'm blinking on the name, but it's the mecha, the Glongru or something like that. That's how the aliens called it.
Yeah, the Grongu,
the,
but then like it's mostly referred as the Kuromukuro, but they just call it like the relic.
That's right.
And that's the world's relic. So everyone is you know the owner of that.
Yeah, the UN is super involved with it, and we also kind of start with Yukina and then this is a part where we kind of are introduced with some of the characters. Yukina, she's in a parent-teacher conference with her mom and her teacher, and the teacher is like, "Oh, you can't, like, this isn't right. Like, your ambition is ungrounded. You can't like achieve your dream on this." And the mom's like, how could you tell that to her? Like, you're her teacher. You should like support her and stuff. And so the mom is very gung-ho, of course, with supporting her daughter. But then when she leaves, the teacher's like, Mars isn't a career. So Yukina is already kind of characterized as kind of like a lofty girl, kind of like not really in like the swing of things, and it's pretty great. Yukina, she has like short hair and a ribbon in her hair, and then, well, she still wants Mars as like her dream or aspiration. And then after that, we get introduced to the facility, the laboratory.
Oh, and you forgot one thing, because her mom forgets her cell phone.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So it's like, this story wouldn't have happened if the mom wouldn't have had forgotten her cell phone.
Oh, very, very true. Yeah. So, and so the mom is like in her head. They're both kind of like...
The mom is an interesting character, because she's a really strict mother, but at the same time, it's commonly shown on Japanese anime, or like the Japanese culture, as far as I know, in the anime, is like, work is very important. Yeah. Sometimes at the cost of the family. And so the mom is like, oh no, I have to work because, I'm the director of all these entire technological facilities. So it's like, you have to figure out what you're going to do in your future. Yeah. So bye. So she leaves. And she's like, oh, my mom, she forgot her cell phone.
Gotta return it to her.
She goes to the facility because she wasn't able to drop it with another girl
with Sophie.
With Sophie, a French girl that it's supposedly working there, but no one knows.
Right.
And she's like, okay, so I'm gonna go. So she's there, and it happened. Everything kind of like so quickly, because
it did.
Then they just get like, oh, an object is coming from outer space.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's coming directly to this part, and it's and they're like in high alert, and it's really, really like high emergency type stuff. And then that's when these things land, and they're these mecha machines, and it's like really bad news because they're basically attacking the facility.
Yeah, everything like crap hits the fan really fast.
Yeah, very, very fast. Yeah, like,
and so like she was talking with the researchers. They were like, "Oh, we found this cube. We have no idea what's it, but suddenly it starts beeping." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna touch it."
As per usual.
It's like, "Oh, that seems dangerous. I'm gonna see what it does." So she touches it, and a naked dude
Yeah, it opens and he
appears.
just comes out, and then this part is really, really funny. When he's like walking around, she kind of like flails her arms and then covers him up by the camera angle. Camera angles in anime are so funny. Yeah. And then, well, he says like princess, and then he basically starts spouting nonsense, how he's gonna like protect her, and then a fight ensues. These monsters basically, or these mecha, they like storm in, but he fights them with katana, basically samurai blade, but it has like blue, it's a glowing blue blade too. So cool.
Yeah, I like that detail.
Yeah.
Because the battle ensues,
Mhm.
then she somehow gets kidnapped
Yes.
by this naked guy.
Yeah. Takes her with him. Mhm.
And he calls the cube a horse. Or at least in the dub version, he's like, "Come, my horse."
Horse, yeah, steed. Oh yes.
And so
silly.
They make their way to the relic, the giant mecha that they were not able to move. That's why they ended up building the facility there, because it was just so freaking heavy.
Yeah.
And so he just turned it on, and the girl, it's like a co-pilot. And so they just start and like making a run for it, because the guy was like clearly confused. He's like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But those guys are my enemies.
Yeah.
It's like the meme. It's like, I don't know why I'm doing here. I just know I just have to kill.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And a really cool mecha battle ensues.
Oh yes. Yeah. And Yukina, she's like freaking out at this whole time, and also I kind of liked the detail where she gets kind of like she gets like pricked or something, and she's like, what?
And then she's able to control the mecha.
Yeah, the interface and whatnot. And yeah, the battle is pretty cool. This first one, there were a couple like around here, around the facility, and I'm glad that there wasn't like a whole ton of CGI, so that was good, I think.
Yeah,
not a whole ton. It didn't feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, after a pretty intense first episode, kind of like things kind of like start coming down, and we start getting a few vague answers from our questions.
Yeah.
So it turns out that this naked dude, his name is Kenosuke, and he is a samurai from a house that was annihilated pretty much, and no one knows there's no history, like
no records.
The only records are like one day that family disappeared. Yeah. And so his goal is, it's pretty simple. It's like avenge the family that he was working for. And it's like, you want answers? Like, that thing is the Kuromukuro, and it came from the heavens, and we gotta battle the ogres, like Onis. That was the part that I liked, that they were tying it to, like Japanese folklore.
Yes. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Because even the mechas had like horns.
Yeah,
so that was like the Onis. That was like the ogre part. That they had horns.
Yeah, pretty cool. That is pretty cool, and it just like all interlates, it interconnects. Yeah, and then also this is kind of early on where Kinosuke, he's also detained for being like an unknown, since they don't really know where he came from. they kind of are suspicious of him too, being like one of them, kind of a thing, or not really knowing where he's from, why he's here. But yeah, he just keeps on saying, "I'm here to fight the Oni," and it's like his main goal and purpose. Um, he also thinks Yukina is like a princess that he used to serve or something like that.
Yeah.
From the beginning, we kind of get that feel that he's not really like understanding of like what's going on in this modern world.
Pretty much the first couple episodes, it was just him kind of like, acclimating himself to this new world, new environment, and also trying to make Yuki to go inside the ship.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because they were like trying to force her.
That's right.
And at the same time, it's like, no, it's her decision.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Why don't you just ask me?"
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked that in that sense where she's trying to like be her own person, but she kind of gets like offended easily. Like
in that part,
you're getting it.
I kind of like reminded me like, what if Evangelion would have been like that? Like, Shinji, get in the freaking Eva.
Ask me nicely.
You're like, ask me nicely, please. Like,
shut up. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's so many weird details in that show. Oh my, I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. A part of me thought that they were low key making fun of the mecha shows.
I think so. It probably is that way, yeah. Because
I mean, not making fun, but like a parody.
Yeah,
because a parody is with the intent of not offending, but
right. It kind of like a homage or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Because the comedy routines were also just like the filler episodes. It's like there was a lot of tension, and then someone just like drop like a dumb joke or whatever. It's like okay.
Yeah. There are some funny things. Let's see. Like like with Kinosuke trying to figure out when he sees phones and a TV for the first time.
Or like the video call is like,
oh yeah,
what is happening here?
There's a person in the box. There's like and he really thinks they're inside. And yeah, that's pretty funny. And then oh yes, Koharu, the little sister, Yukina's little sister, she, there is like a blend between pretty like serious stuff and then some comedy. Koharu
it's definitely pretty serious because probably the general audience ignore that, but when the Onis came as soon as Kenosuke woke up, they took hostages.
Oh yes, yeah.
And it was not addressed until way later.
Right.
That it happened again.
Right. Yeah.
Or when Koharu was also kidnapped.
Yeah. Thankfully they saved Koharu pretty early.
And also that part of
weird.
the kidnappings, it's answered way on the second season, almost close to the end.
What did they say? I can't remember.
Of what they did with the kidnapped people.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
Which
okay.
was kind of mind-blowing, which we will cover.
Right. Oh, yes. Because,
later on.
Yeah, we will. Going back to Koharu, that dude, like, that is messed up.
Yeah. I did feel that for the first half of the anime, like the first 12, 13 episodes, we were in the dark. It was things were just happening. It's like, battles.
Yeah, battles like school life, family life.
It's like, I don't know what's happening here. It's like, it looks like a really cool anime, cool fights, but I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like, the only thing that I know is that there's a giant alien ship in outer space that wants to conquer this world.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the only ones who have been able to fight have been Japan.
Yeah, yes.
Because like not even Russia with like the nuclear heads or
a nuke didn't work. Area 51 like was obliterated. Oh man, yeah, it's incredible. And yeah, Japan fights them off because of the Black Relic, and a really cool aspect with how the story is built and like progressed is because Kinosuke is a samurai. And I thought the funny part with Koharu was that she was watching a samurai movie, but then when Kinosuke saw it, he like destroyed the TV, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, so he has a very like strong drive to be honorable because of the samurai code. And because of his fallen house, and also with like being removed from his own time, he kind of has this one single-minded track of like fighting the Oni and not thinking of anything else at all. Or for the most part, like that's his type of character for a good chunk of the show.
I mean, the dude was just reversed isekai.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So
yeah, and they explain it that he was from 450 years ago, from the Sengoku era.
Yeah, the early Sengoku. No, the early Sengoku era, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I believe so. The Warring States period, where just a lot of like social unrest is happening around Japan, and so I think a couple of other things is that they went on a date pretty early on, like episode 4 or 5.
Oh, to buy the loincloths.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh goodness, that was not part. Yeah. So it's great. Like they show normal high school stuff, a guy and a girl like going out, doing stuff, but always being called back to fight these battles. And it's always like, I wouldn't say close fights, because usually they win. And so going back to the mothership, what's happening is that from the mothership, these mecha are getting shot out, and they're landing, and every time they have to get called in and fight them. So yeah, and so these people, these aliens are on this mission to like find something, and we are kind of left in the dark for.
We're definitely
most of it
left in the dark for a good chunk. Yeah. One of the things that I don't remember the episode honestly, but it's on the first half of the anime. It's after they pretty much beat the first Oni that they fight against, then a person comes out of it.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the person the person speaks English apparently. And they're like, "Hey, why are you going against like us, the Empire? Like you are being a traitor." And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, dude, but I'm gonna kill you." And the dude just goes kamikaze and blows himself up. And everyone is like,
what the heck just happened? And Akagi and Kaya were at ground zero of that blast, and it's like really messed up.
The guy that was always streaming, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He was so annoying.
He was, yeah. Well, he was always trying to get in the action, like no matter where it was. I found Akagi kind of annoying too, but he was kind of like a romantic unrequited love to Yukina. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was your normal annoying supporting character from a shonen anime.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
The annoying supporting character that believes that it's the main character.
Yeah.
But the streamer boy,
oh yeah.
He was so annoying.
He never thinks of his own self-preservation. He always thinks like, oh, I need to go on site to get like a really awesome stream.
To get views.
Get views, I need viewers, more viewers. Yeah, all the time.
But I mean, going further on the story, another robot comes down, and he gives up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I mean,
he just surrenders.
It was a trap, and that part also kind of like made me kind of mad, because you know, like when he surrenders, people from like the United Nations or from America or like from somewhere, like the suited guys.
Oh yes,
they interrogate him, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, the pilot of the Black Roller.
Oh yeah,
he betrayed us. And so they're like, oh, you don't say.
Yeah,
okay.
And they're like, and then they just like, turn around and they like,
and it's like, really, like,
right?
You trust what this guy
they just believe
is saying over the guy that has been fighting against,
like for you,
like,
for them, yeah. It's
like
really
he's putting
weird,
his life on the line,
numerous times.
And when the enemy says
to.
He's a traitor, you're like, huh? You don't say. Well, what would you say about that in your defense? Is like that you, the government, are idiots.
Yes, that's right. Well,
because a lot of things also go to crap because of the government.
That's true. That is really true. Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. One thing though, Kenosuke, he does kind of say he looked familiar, and we find out that he did see him at the, he saw him at the castle and whatnot. So he thought his face looked familiar. So yeah, it was kind of a hot spot for him for a little bit there. Oh man, they shouldn't have been as like, military. Like the thing is, the military did make some mistakes with a lot of these things, like having students fight for them.
Yeah, it's like,
that's the thing about Evangelion too.
Like, Evangelion or that like, the friends is like, kids, let's have these teenagers.
Yeah,
because really
fight
like
for the government. Oh, I don't know.
There are only 3 adults
cringe.
that pilot the robots. One is like the Unit 1, which is you know this jerk.
Ah, yes, the military blonde guy. Yeah,
and then the red-headed girl.
Yep.
I think they're
co-pilots. They are, yeah. She's like 27 or something.
And Sebastian,
that's right,
the butler.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there on,
the rest
like
of them.
Sophie.
Yeah,
she's also a high schooler,
and she's even younger because she skipped some grades apparently.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, and then the other 2, they're 18 years old, Yukina and Kenosuke. So yeah, like when they have like kids fighting in mecha, it always, like the government making them do that always makes me cringe at the government situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different from mecha because you know, like, mecha is such a wide genre.
Oh yes.
And you know the most famous mecha anime, I think it's Gundam.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam. But that one has had different main characters.
Oh yes, yeah, many shows over the years.
They do range from like different ages. But yeah, I mean, I kind of get why it's like, okay, use high school students because high school students are very versatile. So it's like, they're kids, but they're like kind of adults. So it's like, go with them. But the government is specifically saying like, get in the ship and fight and die for us.
Right.
But don't try to die, because that will make us look bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the government was so stupid there.
Yeah.
It's like they never trust Kenosuke.
Yeah.
They were like,
do.
oh yeah, we're gonna
seriously
take
messed up.
his restraining collar, but
Yeah.
we're gonna keep an eye on him. And it's like,
Yeah.
dudes, you should really be paying attention at something else.
Oh yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because they were invaded really easily by like the aliens, and they're like, how didn't we notice any of that?
Right. Well, that's the weird thing too, because in this facility, it's like the facility's security that's always fighting these things off. And I think a lot of the battles we did see Air Force coming in and like shooting and stuff. They do jack squat though, because like conventional missiles and stuff, they just like they get deflected.
Yeah, because the growlers, the mechas, they have like a gravity field, so like they can't repel those kind of weapons. So really, the only way to fight against those is with a sword or something similar.
Yeah, like a lance and whatnot.
But
so yeah, I think that was one thing that was weird for me, that the military didn't just like, send everything, kind of a thing. They never like went gung ho on like just wiping them all out. But it was the facility. Like, I don't know. Were they? They were in the extension of the UN though, right?
Yeah, they were.
They were. Yeah. Strange stuff. Yeah, extraterrestrial brew and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, and after the screw up of the government.
Oh yes.
Because they're like, let's gonna leave this guy that just surrendered and ask some questions to Kenosuke, and it's like, whatever. He escapes, and he just goes further down the facility.
Yes.
And finds the thing that they were looking for, and he calls them the pivot stones.
Yeah. Oh, pivot stones.
Yeah, in the dub. It's
fascinating.
Pivot stones.
They had it subbed with hinge stones. And then they called one of them like the keystone or something.
Yeah. The keystone was the same.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's supposed that we are shown a bit of what's happening on the alien mothership. Yeah. And it's just like a console of these guys wearing armor.
And we assume they're all human, since that first guy looked like a human,
or humanoid at least.
Humanoid, yeah. at the very least, humanoid. So
and they're like, we have almost all the people stones. We're just missing the keystone and the last people stone, and we haven't heard about these two guys.
Yeah, because one of them suicided, the other one was like captured,
and Kenosuke ended up killing him.
He was killed. Oh yeah. And then that's when he killed him from behind, and he was trembling too. As I remember.
Yeah, and then the guy fell from the skid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those couple episodes were pretty like emotionally intense.
Yeah. Too. On the next episodes, we get now new spies, two of them.
Mirasa
and Mueta.
Mueta, yeah, that's right. And Mueta, she looks super, super similar to Yukina.
Yeah.
They infiltrate.
Yeah, they had a battle with the Kuromukuro, then they failed.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, please let me redeem myself and let me go back. So they infiltrate, and again, freaking security was garbage.
Seriously.
In this facility that it's
like
monitored 24/7 or so.
Yeah. They go in through the river. They dive down. They cut up into the sewer.
Yeah, it's like, how don't you have
Yeah, like
it's like sensors or whatever.
or like
oh,
something.
a pipe was broken or whatever.
And for some reason, this pipe from under the water, they can just go through, and then it opens up into this room, and then there are just two service people, and
like,
they totally like wipe them out, and it's like okay, but yeah, they go through under guys, and then they basically go down and down. They go all the way down, and they find the keystone, the last pieces, basically.
Yeah, and they also encounter Kenosuke.
They do.
And
That's right.
like they get discovered finally. And when they were gonna get shot, Kenosuke was like, "Oh, he looks like the princess. Gonna protect the princess."
Yeah, so he freezes up. He also, well, oh right. He thinks he could protect her, which is weird because she's clearly not like friendly to him.
Yeah,
because in the cultural event, she totally stabs him.
Oh yeah, and that was before, right?
I think it was.
Yeah,
before.
I think we skipped it
because we see her first at the cultural event.
Yeah, he sees her there and he's like, "Oh no," because he was going to attack her, then he gets stabbed.
Yeah,
he gets hit or whatever, and I mean, yeah, that was kind of like filler and plot. Probably that's why we skipped that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, this second time that they met, he lets them escape, and then Moeta gets injured, and so the other reasons. The other girl is like,
I want all the glory.
I want all the glory.
Give me all the glory. Dude, yeah, like their infighting, like I think all of the aliens, they had like way too much infighting, and it was way too much like self-honor type stuff. It was never like, oh, we need to, like group up or whatever. Oh no, it's like, oh, that was a weird thing. I'm not sure where that type of like ideology came from, but
probably
I'm a
because later on, it is on the last episodes, it is explained that they are part of like a huge empire.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like this kind of corporation. If you did good, you would go up in rank.
Ah, okay.
So
that's the view.
So it was not a,
that makes sense.
Like
because
there was no I in team, so
right.
So it's like that.
So
that's
I need
why
to climb the ranks and be better. That makes sense because we do also find out that they're basically the vanguard or the front of this invading force. That'll come later, basically. But yeah, they have a falling out. Moeta is lost, basically, and we see her wandering around, but then she also meets up with Yukina.
Oh, on the onsen episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No, I know what you mean. So, the UN arrives, one of the ogres arrives and accidentally kidnaps Yuki instead of Moeta.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, they take Moeta hostage to the UN, and they're like, oh, you know what? She has the same genetic material as Yuki.
Exact same. And that freaked me out. I was like, what the crap is going on?
Yeah, and Moeta is having like an identity crisis. And at the same time, is that when the Oni that Kenosuke encounter, he reveals himself to Sophie, right?
That's right. He the Oni comes to Sophie and basically tells her his life story and basically what's really going on with the invading forces. We find out that...
And also his connection to Kenosuke and to Yuki.
That's right, through the dad.
Yeah.
So the... Oh yeah, Kenosuke too. Oh, I forgot about that because Kenosuke, we see like a vision of him seeing the Oni, but through this sort of like material that's like holding him and whatnot. The Oni he describes and explains to Sophie that he's from another world that was also conquered by these aliens. And we kind of find out that he was one of those original people from this other planet. So he warns Sophie, hey, like, we need to stop this front force and stop them from basically letting the rest of the invasion come through. Sophie believes him, which is fascinating. But yeah, he also explains that he knew Yukina's dad, and a little bit farther in, we see him when he explains to Kinosuke he spent like a lot of time with Yukina's dad, and so they did a lot of like research together, and that was pretty nice. I like that they had a relationship, because then the dad knows for himself, hey, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Or nor am I a liar. Because poor Yukina, she was bullied.
Yeah, because also
at school.
a lot of the plot is driven because
Yeah.
Yukina like call her father a liar because he said like
She hated him.
the only they're coming back soon, and she's like, no, like you're a liar.
I hate you. Yeah.
And so like
so sad.
During like all of these series of events, while she is on the mothership, she discovers also a lot of things. She sees kind of like some sort of printer and like a part of the head of like her head.
Basically herself. Yeah, it looks like her. And that was so freaky. So now we learn that they're making clones of the host world. And that's how they make this front vanguard.
Yeah, and that happened. I think it happened around episode 18 or 20.
18 or somewhere around there. Yeah.
Somehow those last parts, I thought that it was a bit rushed.
Really?
Yeah.
The tone was very different.
Yeah, I thought that
the anime changed a little bit.
There were more questions now than answers.
Yeah.
And then at the final episodes, it seems like they just bombarded you with a lot of information.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
And they were still, throwing those filler episodes. So I was like, I don't need filler episodes. I need answers.
Like the video one. Oh, that was so close to the very end. Oh, yeah, they just kept doing it.
But it's like they managed to talk Moera into the group.
Yeah.
To rescue Yukina.
Yeah.
They rescue her, and from the time that they rescue her, things go to crap. Even more.
Sure yeah.
Because then all of the remaining aliens come back in their mechas.
Oh, yes.
And launch an all-out attack.
Yep. Because now, when they do this last attack, they're able to basically take over the laboratory, and they can like brainwash people with these nano machines.
Yeah,
they look like little
so freaky
spiders. Ooh, that was really unsettling. And so they take over basically that area, the Kurobe laboratory, and they put up this generator field. Really weird, but the mothership, it comes down and it like shoots off these poles, and the shield comes up, and then basically they think, like, to me it was like, the end of the world is coming. This is it. Like they did it. Like they took what they needed. They have the hinge stones, the last piece of the circular orb, and it turns out it's this wormhole generator
to call the rest of the troops to conquer the world. And it's like,
it's too late.
Okay, like
they got it.
Like things went south really, really fast.
Yeah.
Because even Sebastian dies.
Dude. Oh, dude. Yes. Yeah. Well, when I first saw that, and I was so sad. And Sophie, she I think she was really sad, but she was trying so hard. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
kind of like,
and they have to like put up their last resistance
yeah.
near here.
I mean, pretty much because
Yeah.
they didn't have a lot of resources.
Yeah.
They only had like the Kuromukuro upgraded with the wings
from the Onis.
from the Oni.
Mecha thing.
And
yeah,
they
and
still
like one glass
they still had
ready.
the mecha from Moera. Well, they could recover it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And they during the time that the mothership came down, they did manage to kill one of the mechas, right? Like the biggest one.
Yes, yeah, they did.
The one with like a lot of arms.
Yeah.
Or like swords.
Swords. Yeah, a lot of swords. Yeah.
So yeah, that last resistance attempt of like, okay, so we're gonna fight them and we're gonna figure out like how to stop this.
Yeah.
That sequence was really good.
It was.
So like I don't want to cover a lot of it because the whole fight is really good. And
yeah, it is.
And you know some of the interesting plot parts during the fight are really exciting. But like once they win, because they do.
Oh yes, thankfully.
They do exactly the same with the commander.
Oh yeah, they do. So they go back to the mothership, and when they saw, that's right. They go back to the mothership, and they basically have free range of the mothership, and they call the main guy lethal, and so yeah, after they brainwash him, Zeru, the Oni, basically asks him like, "Hey, like how long do we have?" No, it was
he basically it was a lot of questions actually. It was like, "Hey, who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just a clone," and I was made it. He's like, "Okay, what's the purpose of you guys?" He's like, "Well, like we made clones out of like the native species and just like implant new memories in them, and they're fighting. We're just like the ground ones.
Yeah,
the entire fleet, it's coming either way, with or without a keystone. Like
in 220 years, the next batch basically are gonna arrive. Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, just when you think that okay, yeah, things are now peaceful because it's like okay, 200 years is like
right, right. Like that's a long time, but Kenosuke, he decides he needs to go to the home planet of this other species
because they also discover that there's like an intergalactic resistance group fighting the Empire.
Yeah,
so that's why Kenosuke is like, oh, you know what, I want you to have like wanted you to have like a simple life, a peaceful life. So like it's my way to say thanks to you, and I'm gonna go fight. And so because by this time, like the government again, freaking idiots.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, you saved us. Well, guess what? Moera and the Oni, we're gonna strip them of their freedom, and we're gonna just
throw them in custody again.
Yeah, and make like experiments, like perform experiments on them. And it's like, you guys never learn, do you?
No. Yeah. So like, they have the shocker collars again, and it's really messed up that they do that after like all they've done for them. And when they're leaving, when they are going to go to the home planet of Zeru, they're like, no way, you're not going to do this. And so even the director, she has to like override all the security and let them go. And so I thought that was really cool of her. But Kenosuke, he tells Yukina, like, you need to stay here too, even though he already proposed to her. Oh my gosh. That was a killer part for me, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And she didn't really like give an answer, but like we saw the whole anime up to this point. We kind of know she kind of likes him and whatnot, but he decides by himself he's gonna go, and so she's really frustrated, really mad at him, and then I really liked the ending part where when they are leaving, Tom, he tries to like stop them with the big mecha.
Oh yeah,
that was
but
pretty
then
cool.
it was just all an act.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a second I was
That's
like,
right.
that was an act. You
you
jerk!
crappy-
You almost killed her.
Yeah, he's a crappy guy. But yeah, he's like, oh well, yeah, I let them win, or yeah, that was fascinating.
He's like, for starters, you had like the biggest mecha.
Yeah.
He's like, you had like the most powerful, and I was like, yeah, I let you win. It's like, oh, how kind of you.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm glad they're going. Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. So weird. Overall, this was a really good show.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of like the real ending was a time skip 5 years after.
Yep.
On 2021.
Yeah, funnily enough. Yep. And in 2021, they had the spaceport, and it's really high tech, and
it was her going to Mars and then meet with Kenosuke.
Yeah.
And
so her dreams coming to fruition. Yeah. I love that part.
I was kind of like, for a second, like when they were trying to, go to the to outer space.
Ah, yes.
I thought that it was going to be a ending similar to that of Darling of the Franxx.
Oh.
I don't know if you watched it before, but the ending of Darling of the Franxx, 02 and this guy that I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
The
main character, yeah.
Yeah, the main character. I remember 02. Like 02, that's pretty easy.
02, yeah. She's cool. I like her.
But yeah, they actually leave also like planet Earth to go fight against the aliens, because 02 pretty much turns into a mecha, because she was basically a mecha, kind of like a hybrid.
Oh yes, she
mecha,
was.
And at the end she turns into a full mecha, and also the other guy also was kind of like part mecha or like part. They were kind of like space dinosaurs.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, it's been a while since I finished it, so yeah, I'm trying to put it into simple words. But it's like the ending, they both like go together to outer space and to kill all these space dinosaurs, and that was it. Like, and they died, and they kind of like reincarnate back on Earth thousands of years later.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was gonna be something like that,
similar.
And then it was
really close. Yukina was like holding onto his leg. They were about to like go through, but then after he attacked, Yukina falls back down.
Yeah.
So you thought it would be similar?
Yeah, I thought it was, and they're like, and she didn't make it. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of anticlimactic. I really thought that they would go both of them together. But yeah, I think it was a better ending in some ways when she had like 5 years to prep, kind of a thing.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And they do go. That's the ending. We see the rest of them, how they ended up and where they are in life. I'm glad Sophie was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like what was
and then one other character with Sophie. Dude, I was really glad that character came back,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The one that really cracked me up was the Spanish guy.
Oh, Carlos?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he was the one making the videos. He was a funny character.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
When he made the video of like, I'm I'm gonna move away, guys.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's
And
like,
there's this heartfelt
Carlos,
message
shut
at
the thing
end.
up.
Nobody listens to his heartfelt
And at
message
the end,
in
it's like,
video.
I guess I'm not gonna move anymore.
You
were gonna
nobody
move?
see that?
He's like-
it's like you didn't watch it.
Poor
This is
Carlos.
pretty funny. I think he had Akagi. He had a crush on Yukina, but I think Carlos also kind of liked her. Well,
No, I think
he liked
Carlos-
Mika.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
liked Mika. Oh, dang it. Yeah, he has a crush on Mika. Mika is I liked her character. She was
You know
like
what?
the best friend, cosplayer.
What was the deal with the teacher?
The teacher? Oh, Marina?
No. The male teacher.
Oh, the male teacher? We
Because he was really skilled,
He
when
was.
when Kenosuke was stabbed, like
yeah.
like
He kind of started helping him.
the nurse, the school nurse was like,
Marina. She freaked
it's
out.
blood.
I don't know.
And the teacher was like, let's do this. Like,
Right.
how do you know all of that? It's like, it's better if you don't know. And it's like, and we never knew.
That's true. Dude, I totally forgot about that because they do not revisit that. I don't know. I'm thinking he had some sort of military background. Maybe.
Yeah, probably. But it's like,
Well, yeah, we never find
say
out.
anything about that. And
Yeah. So yeah, he has like some either field know-how. He definitely has some medical know-how. So he gives him first aid. I liked Marina Sensei too. She's pretty funny. I liked that she was always like, I'm a teacher. No, I am a teacher.
like, wow.
So
it almost
funny.
makes you look like you're a teacher. I am one.
I am one. Yeah, that's it. It was so funny. And she was so funny. She was always roped into what the rest of the students were doing. Hilarious. Like the video.
Yeah.
And the hot springs. So funny. Well, as kind of like my 2 cents on the show, at least, I really liked the whole cloning idea that these clones are the ones who are the vanguard of the aliens, and we don't ever see the aliens really.
Yeah.
We never. Really see them.
We're never told anything, and even they ask like, "Who are they?" It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I don't have a clearance for that, or
yeah, and so like basically we know nothing of the aliens, but the clones, we know that they have fake memories or memories implanted in their brains, however that works. And but I think that was great for Mueta. Even though, and that was also kind of funny. Kinosuke totally thought that she was Yukihime, and apparently with these like genes, she looks exactly the same as Yukihime, because she was one of the ones that was also like captured, but also rescued from Zeru.
Oh, and
so
also
that's
like
what's happening to these captured people.
They never get old, or
they're immortal.
Because also like the nanomachines are like
Yeah.
constantly healing them.
Freaking nanomachines. And
unless
that's the
like
secret.
their head like starts
brain death.
kind of like brain
unless
death.
they're
Like
brain dead.
yeah, those things are dead. But
Yeah, that's right.
other than that, like their regeneration powers are like
like
supernatural,
off the charts.
pretty much.
Oh yeah, so freaking.
So yeah, kind of like overall, I think that the anime still left a lot of unanswered questions.
Oh, it's
like
sure
the alien
did.
origins, or like what was their deal? Because
Yeah,
I don't know. It was like, oh yeah, like let's rule the world, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
is that it?
Like right, because the aliens, we never really see like their own objective. Like, okay, yeah, like that's one of the things about a lot of sci-fi movies is that this one race wants to conquer everything, but it's like, why?
It's like, and where's the race though?
Where are they? So, yeah, like a lot of unanswered questions. Are they really doing well on Zell's planet or Zeru's planet? Like, are they actually fighting back and whatnot? Is the galactic force really there, kind of a thing? And yeah, I mean, it's one of those open-ended anime. And also, and the clones, they were so similar to Evangelion also. Like, with all the
like
cloning.
Ray clones.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, the Ray clones, like, I don't know what it is with these anime that are so similar, but
I mean,
it was fascinating.
Evangelion is one of like the central figures for mecha.
And yes, psychedelic.
Yeah, and even
very central with a lot
and
of.
I think that Evangelion has
cliches.
established itself as a classic for mecha, even though Gundam has years, or like Messenger Z is like those are like from early 70s.
Yeah. It's like
Evangelion was like
it inserted itself very strongly in the psyche of anime, if you could call it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fascinating. I really wish they would revisit this world and maybe even showing more of them going back to the other world, but I don't know, you never know. But PA Works is still around, maybe eventually, but I think that was like a good ending.
Yeah, I mean,
but
as far as I remember, I don't remember PA Works having more than 2 seasons
for anything
for any of their shows.
Yeah, they're pretty good at 2-season shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
they're pretty good. Like for like 12 or 24 episodes, they're really good at them.
Yeah.
So probably they know, because like sometimes that's a problem. It's like you're really good with the 24 episodes, and then you expand a little more, and they're not as good. Like the quality,
okay, that's a good point.
The quality is lower. So kind of like at this point, it's like just wanting more is like, I think it's good. Because sometimes like they're like, oh, I want to see more, and you see more, and it's like, oh, it's not quite what I was expecting. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a great anime. I would give it personally like a 7.5.
Okay.
Because
I'd probably give it an 8 myself.
Yeah. Those filler episodes, they were weird. I thought they were anticlimactic at times.
Yes, yeah.
Even though they ended up connecting really good with the main plot.
Yeah.
I thought that they were a bit anticlimactic. It was like, no, that's
yeah. Well, I think it was okay with the characters. They were all really well written. The character development may have been maybe not as much as some of PA Works, but yeah, the characters are good. They're fleshed out. The plot is really good. I wish we could have seen the aliens or like more of the intergalactic type stuff, but it was pretty cool. Yeah. Origin of the Oni is also pretty cool.
Right,
like,
yeah.
They're real.
But yeah, I hope you like this.
Yeah.
This episode. Go watch the anime. It's pretty good. It's enjoyable, and it's 26 episodes.
Yeah. Go watch it for Yukina.
Yep.
Or Marina.
Is it available on Crunchyroll?
On Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I didn't see it on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is available on Netflix, depending on the region. But yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Go watch it and keep watching anime. We'll see you next time.
See ya.